I am live and I'm just adjusting my computer. But anyway, good morning. It's Sunday once more. And if you see me put a Kleenex to my nose, is because for some reason I have a drippy nose this morning. And it's like life isn't always exactly as you want it. But anyway, today, my thought of the day is about power. And that came up during the week. And I thought it would be a good Sunday talk because very often what happens is that we don't really understand power. And over the years, I have come to realize a couple of things. And especially, I have to give notice to the Carpman Triangle. That really helped me understand a lot of depth to the whole power issue. Basically, there are three kinds of power: power over, power under, and power with. Power over, when you examine the Carpman Triangle, really fits into the idea of a dictator or a tyrant, or any way that is up there where they've got the power over. Do it my way. Usually the finger, I used to say to my students in class, when the finger comes up like this, or a stab, or the pen is used, you're in a power over position. This is the way it is, and there's no other recourse. Do it this way or whatever. But there are other kinds of power than power over. Now, in the Carpman Triangle, again, I call it the dictator, but there are other words for that. There's also the victim. Now, that's power under. That's when the dictator dictates to the victim, and the victim has no self-power, no personal power, no way to, And the thing is, I want you to realize, again, is that there are three main roles, we might say, around power from the Carpman Triangle. And the key is we are all three at some point of times. We can be the dictator, we can be the victim, and often people are the rescuer. And the rescuer, to me, is the one that deals and works to try to get the dictator, who's often angry, fixed, sorted out, calmed down, or the victim who is feeling usually depressed and unsure and unsure to redo them. And usually the rescuer goes in there to try and help. But what we really need and what we really want is power with. Power with is a recognition that we are equals and that we can, through communication, through awareness, through support, can make a change. But I find that very often in our models, what is missing is the connection to what I call the universal love force. It doesn't matter what name you give that, whether you call it God, whether you call it Allah, whether you call it Buddha, whether you call it the Earth Mother, whatever. There is an energy, and it's the connection to the energy that gives you the personal power to have power with, because power with is a recognition of the other person's journey. I'm fortunate. My life has been so fortunate in so many ways. It hasn't always been easy, believe me, but it's been learning about humanity, learning about who we are and what we are and how we work and how to make things come together in such a whole different way. And I'm just sitting here thinking, and, most of these, I have a few words in front of me, but the rest of it is we just channel this and put it out as it is. Life has within us a way of learning. And what happens? How do we handle our trauma? How do we handle the restrictions, which is a lot of the work I do in my professional world. So it's like, what do we do with that? How do we cope? How do we work? And that's what puts us into our power positions. Are we a power over person? Are we a power under person? Are we a power with person? Do we go around telling people how it should be? Unfortunately, it seems in my work I do that. How to. Mostly, I like to think I'm instructing how they could change things, because they're coming to me because they want to change something. victim, though, is the hardest one to let go of. And because it has an element of power, because the rescuer will always come to rescue you, the dictator will always try to tell you how to handle it, but no one really deals with that inner trauma that has gone on, that has created a feeling of lack of power. We are all three in the Carpman Triangle. But it is those of us that have a connection to the love force without the restrictions that say it should be this way or that way. And that comes from the intellect. That's a different story. I don't want to get into that today. But I do run into it a lot in my work, where people have a framework of how life is supposed to be, how it is supposed to work, how it is supposed to be achieved. We're fortunate today because most of us are educated. And if we not, there are ways through TV or radio, as I know a lot of my friends listen to lots of podcasts, then you learn in other different ways. There's other ways in which you can fulfill a sense of your learning and a sense of direction. So my thought for this Sunday is to watch yourselves this week. Watch to see when you are in a power over position, when you're in a power under, when you feel less than, when you feel that you don't have a say or you can't do something. That's a power under. Or when you have power with, when you recognize the other person or the circumstances, and without judgment, you just accept that and you choose the direction that you want to be in. You choose how you want that to play out. It can be very, very insightful. So I want you to have a great week. I want you to, we're just rounding up March, moving into, as the week unfolds coming up, moving into April. It was in a May, April showers bring May flowers. Yeah, mother, that's when I get flowers for my garden. So I just want you to be aware that you are more, that you are greater than you think, because it's self-awareness which opens everything up. I want to wish you well. I want you to have a good week. Thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for the shares, the likes, etc. And I'll see you Wednesday. Thanks. Bye-bye.